Welcome to our course on Open Source Intelligence, or OSINT. Now, in this first lecture, we will explore the fundamentals of OSINT, its importance, methodologies, and the key concepts. However, before we start, it's important to establish something. What does OSINT exactly refer to? Well, Open Source Intelligence refers to the collection and analysis of information from publicly available sources such as databases, registers, court filings, social media, and so on. And this kind of information can come handy in various fields. First off, in security and intelligence, it helps law enforcement agencies, security professionals, and intelligence organizations gather insight about potential threats, security vulnerabilities, and overall it helps track people down. Then we got business intelligence. As in the business world, OSINT methodology and tools help in market research, brand monitoring, identifying business opportunities, and performing background checks. OSINT is also widely utilized in journalism and various investigations. The industry professionals use it to verify facts, uncover stories, and similarly as in business intelligence, perform background checks on individuals and organizations. Now, we know who can use this kind of information and in what context. But wait a second, where does this kind of information even come from? Well, we don't really limit ourselves to one source when it comes to OSINT, but rather lots of them, including different useful tools that help us in our discovery. This means that we will visit social media platforms, forums, blogs, new articles, government records, court documents, property records, and many other things to gather our information. But gathering all the information makes only sense if we stick it to some sort of methodology. So that cycle will start off usually with data collection. We visit various registers, databases, social media platforms, and make notes of whatever we manage to find. Next up, we usually verify those sources. So some source might not be valid, and it might give us incorrect information. That's why it is usually best to verify each source. And once we have enough documented and verified information, we can get to the analysis phase. Now, depending on the nature of the investigation, in the analysis phase, we might create a timeline, identify patterns, trends, and relationships. Then, depending on what field one belongs to, in the next phase, they usually present findings in formal or informal report. Overall, we want you to keep in mind that no matter what your role is, you want to be documenting your findings. Documenting is something that might seem irrelevant at the beginning, but it's quite important, and you will see later throughout the course why it is necessary. And don't worry, if you're unsure how to approach all of this that we mentioned, since we will guide you on how to document the findings, which tools to use and for what, and we will give many methodologies on how to approach different situations. Alright, so that's just tip of the iceberg of what we will cover in this course. We briefly discussed what OSINT is and some basic steps on how to approach it in this lecture. But throughout the course, Konrad, who is an expert in open source intelligence, and myself will guide you through various tools and techniques that you can use to perform open source intelligence. Thank you for sticking with me through this brief introduction, and I will see you in the next lecture. Did you know that OSINT is used to predict and mitigate natural disasters? By analyzing publicly available data from social media, satellite imagery, and weather reports, researchers and emergency responders can identify patterns and early warnings for events like hurricanes, floods, and wildfires. For example, during the 2017 Hurricane Harvey, OSINT was crucial in tracking real-time flood data and coordinating rescue operations, as well as demonstrating how open-source data can significantly enhance disaster response and preparedness. That is why I welcome you to our OSINT Mastery course. Today we're going to break down the course into its key components to give you a clear understanding of what to expect. My name is Alexa, And together with Conrad, we will guide you through this exciting journey into the world of open source intelligence. To begin with, let's outline our course structure. This course is designed to equip you with the skills and knowledge necessary to effectively gather and analyze open source information. We will cover a range of topics, each critical to mastering OSINT. Practicing is also a crucial step. At the end of particular sections, we will provide you with tasks to apply the knowledge obtained. Don't worry if you struggle, as we will give you hints and then solutions. Alright, now the goal of today's lecture is to give you a quick overview of the course content, so let's dive right in. Our first topic is safety measures, which is fundamental for any OSINT practitioner. The importance of safety cannot be overstated. It's essential to protect both yourself and your data. We will start with virtual machines. Now, using a virtual machine provides a secure, isolated environment for conducting investigations. This means that any potential threats encountered during your research are contained within the virtual machine, safeguarding your primary operating system. We'll cover the best practices for setting up and using VMs effectively. Next, we will discuss browser setup. Investigation-focused browsers and appropriate browser configurations are crucial. You will learn how to use your browser to maximize anonymity, and you will also learn which extensions can help you in an OSINT investigation. Also, VPNs or virtual private networks are another key component. A VPN masks your IP address, helping to protect your location and identity. We will review how to choose a reliable VPN provider and configure it to ensure robust privacy. Now, handling data in investigation is another critical area. We will discuss safe methods for storing and managing the data you collect. Encryption is an important practice we will delve into, ensuring that sensitive information remains secure. And finally, documenting your work is essential for maintaining the integrity and reliability of your findings. We will explore best practices for documenting your research, including tools and methods to keep your records organized and comprehensive. And that would be pretty much it when it comes to safety measures. But we will also cover sock puppets. Now, this topic explores the creation and use of fake identities, or sock puppets, in the OSINT operations. We will start by defining what sock puppets are and their purpose. Sock puppets are essentially fake online personas used to deceive or manipulate others. Understanding their role is crucial for both ethical and operational reasons. We will then examine the different ways that sock puppets can be employed to achieve various goals. Whether it's for social engineering, influence operations, or creating false narratives, sock puppets can be a powerful tool when used correctly. Now, advanced techniques in psychological operations, or PsyOps, will also be covered in this course. We will discuss how to create convincing sock puppets and the strategic use of psychological tactics to influence or gather information. Ethical considerations will be an important part of this discussion, as the line between ethical and unethical use of sock puppets can be thin. Then, we will cover search engines and searching people. This will be our next focus. The effective use of search engines is a fundamental skill in open source intelligence. We will explore advanced search techniques that allow you to refine your queries and obtain more precise results. Using advanced search operators and Boolean search methods will be key topics. Now, in addition to search techniques, we'll cover strategies for searching for people. This includes finding personal information through various online sources and verifying this information by cross-referencing multiple platforms. Next, we will research businesses. Researching businesses is another vital component of open source intelligence. We will start by discussing how to gather corporate information. You will also learn how to identify key details about businesses, such as executive names, company locations, and other relevant data. We'll explore tools and databases that can provide valuable insights into business operations. Analyzing a company's online presence is also crucial. We'll look at how to evaluate company websites, social media profiles, press releases, and public records to place together a comprehensive picture of a business. And after that, we will find information through usernames and images. Finding information through usernames and images is another critical skill. This starts with username analysis. Tracking usernames across different platforms can reveal a wealth of information. We will explore tools and techniques for gathering and analyzing data associated with specific usernames. Image search is another area that we will cover. Using reverse image search tools that we can find, we will analyze image metadata to gain additional insights. We will also look at how to investigate social media accounts. Examining and cross-checking information from various social media profiles can provide valuable context and connections relevant to your investigation. And lastly, we have physical OSINT. Here we will discuss how to conduct on-site investigations while being in your office and utilizing public records, documents, and physical observations effectively. Physical OSINT as a whole can provide us a more comprehensive understanding of a company structure and how it can be approached. Integrating physical and digital OSINT is crucial for forming a well-rounded view. We will explore methods for linking these two types of intelligence to enhance your investigative efforts. Then we have extras. Finally, we will touch on some additional topics that are relevant to open source intelligence, but not always covered in traditional courses. We will start with deep or dark web, discussing how it can be a source of intelligence and the risks associated with navigating this hidden part of the internet. Then we will mention cryptocurrencies as another area of interest. We'll explore how to investigate cryptocurrencies, transactions, and track digital currencies using various tools and techniques. Data removal is also important. We will look at methods for removing or mitigating unwanted data and strategies for protecting your privacy. And lastly, we will briefly cover other advanced topics and tools exploring emerging threats and technologies in the field of open source intelligence. Alright, now before we finish off with this lecture and we dive in all of the exciting stuff that we just mentioned, it is important to address one more thing. The techniques and tools discussed are powerful and can have significant impacts, both positive and negative. It is essential to use OSINT responsibly and within the bounds of the law. Respect privacy, adhere to ethical guidelines, and consider the potential consequences of your actions. Always obtain proper authorization before conducting investigations and ensure that your use of OSINT aligns with legal and ethical standards. Now, the goal of this course is to equip you with skills that can be used for constructive and lawful purposes, contributing positively to security, research, and information gathering. Alright, that would be about it. Let's dive right in.
Welcome back. The topic for this lecture is methodology. Depending on who you are and what your profession is, you might be interested in conducting just a one-time investigation or multiple investigations over time. If it's the latter, you'll definitely need to establish a methodology of how you approach it so you can just follow a cycle rather than just wandering around and hoping to achieve something. So how do we do it? First off, you want to think about what the objective of the investigation is. This step is combined with establishing with the client, supervisor, or yourself what exactly you need to discover. This kind of approach helps you realize what steps you can take to achieve it. That way you will save lots of time if you have to conduct investigations on a daily or weekly basis. Optimizing the workflow is the key to efficiency. Once you have established the goal, you want to double check the information you are provided. It might sound weird, but you want to quote-unquote interrogate your client. Why? I can't stress enough how often it happens that you get back to them with pieces of information you have found just to learn that they knew some of them but either didn't realize it would be useful to the investigation or they simply forgot about them. Next up is digging into the context. Sure, we find pieces of information, but OSINT stands for Open Source Intelligence, not open source information. If a case is complex enough, you can create a link analysis chart which will help you or your client or your supervisor look at it and get a proper understanding. Also, throughout the investigation, you want to be taking notes. We follow a principle that whatever we find within the browser, we will paste into a note-taking software, and for the thoughts, we use a real paper notepad. This might sound old-fashioned, but it helps us separate the information from the intelligence. If you follow these steps in a semi-repeatable format, creating a report for whoever requested the investigation should be easy. And don't worry about this part as of now, as Alexa covers that section, so you are in good hands. Alright, that's it for the general methodology. In different sections of the course, you will discover more niche cycles of discovering certain information. For example, you are given a phone number, so you attempt to discover its owner's name, identity, and so on. Once you get the real name, you'll try to find their usernames, email addresses, and so on. This might seem a bit monotonous, as sometimes we encounter a dead end after a dead end. So it's important to periodically sit back and think about what information we have and what other vectors we can approach. Alright, that's it for this lecture. If you need to, rewatch it after you're done with the course, as it's general knowledge which will help you build good habits over time. Thank you, and I will see you in the next section where we start the practical part.